And we're going to show you the times we're living in right now. I spoke about this briefly during the pandemic. Okay? The signs of Christ is coming. Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Second Baruch. Now, you can also find Baruch in the Apocrypha. Okay? You can find him in the Apocrypha also. But keep in mind, Baruch had more than one record from the Apocrypha. We're reading it. So once you read regular Baruch in your Apocrypha, then you open up these records and read 2nd and 3rd Baruch. Okay? And guess what? It flows right in order, as if they were all in one book. Elder Lawyer, if you will. And we're talking about how to navigate making it through a post-pandemic world. Everything changed. Everything changed coming out of the pandemic. They just didn't tell you yet. There's a whole world reset that, guess what? If they told the people the world that was coming, the whole world would be rioting right now, and it wouldn't be about no immigrants. Okay. So here we go. Elder Lawyer. I'm putting the cart before the horse. That's later. Let's go to 2nd Baruch, the 24th chapter. For behold.
Yes, sir. 2nd Baruch 24, verse 1. For behold, the days come and the book shall be opened, in which are written the sins of all those who have sinned. And again, also the treasuries, in which the righteousness of all those who have been righteous in creation is gathered. For it shall come to pass at that time that thou shalt see, in many that are with thee, the long suffering of the Most High, which has been throughout all generations, who has been long suffering towards all those who are born, alike those who sin and those who are righteous.
Now it says in this record real quick, Elder Lawyer, that the Most High is long suffering, which means he witnessed sin, and through his grace, he doesn't judge immediately. That's how much he loved his children. He loved us so much that he would actually suffer us to go through something and not punish us immediately. That's long suffering. The same way patient parents are patient with their children. Instead of every time there's a beating or a whipping or a reprimand, sometimes you have to let them go through it. Well, that's how God has always been with us. But still, the righteous acts as well as the sins are being recorded. They're in a book, right? Read it.
Verse 3. And I answered and said, But behold, O Lord, no one knows the number of those things which have passed, nor yet of those things which are to come. For I know indeed that which is befallen us, but what will happen to our enemies I know not. And when thou wilt visit thy works.
Come on.
25 and 1.
25 and 1. Sign of the coming judgment.
And he answered and said unto me, Thou too shalt be preserved till that time, till that sign which the Most High will work for the inhabitants of the earth in the end of days. This therefore shall be the sign.
This shall be the sign. Here's the sign that we in the last days would be looking to understand how close we are to the end. A lot of people are saying, well, what sign? I'm seeking a sign. What do I have to see? Well, it says right here, this therefore shall be the sign. Read.
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth.
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth. You want a sign? This is the sign. When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth. Now I'm going to hold that, Elder Lawyer, because we have to figure out what is the stupor. What is the stupor? A stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth. That means the majority of the earth will be under this particular spirit. Now, of course, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for the advent of the internet that can influence so many people almost immediately under one spirit. When it comes to what? When it comes to programming people to accept what's against us and our God. The internet is the tool they were able to bring the whole world under one spirit. And I'll tell you this, no way they could have pulled off flawlessly everything they did during the pandemic if we didn't have the internet. If we didn't have the internet, they could not have pulled this off. As efficient and as, and as successful as they planned. Because everybody don't look at the news. When I was coming up, we had 5 or 6 channels of news, right? And it wasn't even like that. We would watch the other stuff outside of the news. So there's no way they could have had everybody on point to go into their homes and all of that with nothing outside. We just locked ourselves in the house because we thought something was outside. It would have been impossible to roll that out without the internet. So the internet is a key component. Satan is the principality and power. His spirit is in the principality and the power of the air, the frequencies, the programming. Now, what if we can get everyone to listen to Satan at one time on his frequency? Well, none of that would have been possible without the internet. The internet in of itself is just a tool of efficiency. Okay? But I'm just letting you know, it would have been impossible. We came up in a different time. Okay? But now you can easily get the whole world on board with anything instantly. So let's talk about, Elder Lawyer, the stupor, if you will.
Stupor.
It says what? What?
Stupor.
The stupor. What is it? The sign is that the inhabitants of the earth. Read that last piece again, Elder Lawyer.
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth.
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth. This is not talking about a man or an antichrist or something like that. It's a what? It's a state of near unconsciousness or in insensibility. See? Where the majority of the people would be walking the earth indifferent, without natural affection, just existing with no purpose. A state of near unconsciousness or insensibility, where the whole world, people would be totally disconnected from everything around them, everything they used to love, and above all, disconnected from God. Right? Here is the sign. A drunken stupor. People running around as if they're actually achieving something. See? But not putting any real worth, according to the Almighty, in this earth that could benefit the people as a whole. A drunken stupor. Just a person walking around, staggering around, drunk from spiritually. From one thing to the next is drunk with no clear path. Now there's more. When you go into the stupor, it says a condition of greatly dulled or completely suspended sense or sensibility. A chiefly mental condition. Everyone's talking about mental health. Everyone's talking about to get some therapy and all these others. Why do you think we're hearing in the advent of this more so than at any time we've heard it? A chiefly mental condition marked by an absence of spontaneous movement, greatly diminished responsiveness to stimulation. People don't feel no more. People don't have passion anymore. People don't care anymore. They just don't care. That's the sign. So if the devil at any time was going to strike to destroy so many people in the earth, guess what? Now is the time. No one is together. Everyone is talking about separating. Everybody's talking about not being in relationships, not being married. No one cares about anything. And that's the sign. I see, Lawyer, it seems like every time I look, this stuff is popping up. I think REI sent me something. You're right? Sisters are talking about where are the men? We're going here. We're putting ourselves out there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Should we approach the men? Right? We go to mixers. Men aren't showing up. They're not going to go. Where's the men? And it goes back to what I said earlier. We're trying to adjust ourselves going forward based on the world we came out of. But that old world doesn't work anymore. Okay? No one cares. The men don't care. And we can go into how many reasons or the different reasons to what got them there. It doesn't matter because the Bible tells us in Baruch, it tells us that a stupor is going to take the inhabitants of the earth, where the whole world would be indifferent. So what people used to care about no longer exists. Doesn't matter how much we talk about it. Don't matter how much we try to blame each other for it. It's what it is. Only people that have a passion for the Most High cares anymore. That's that sensitivity. That's that thing that strikes a nerve in our conscience. That's that thing that gives us natural affection. How to care when things are wrong. Guilt that leads us to do right. But you have to have a care towards the Almighty and a fear towards the Almighty to have that, to still feel. But if you don't have the Most High, there's nothing to feel for. And I don't think we really grasp, Elder Lawyer, when we talked about this last time, the sign of the stupor. Greatly diminished responsiveness to stimulation. These guys don't want to do nothing. They just want to sit around, they play games or whatever the case might be. And guess what? If we're not careful, the stupor can snatch anybody up. To make it where you don't have that passion and care that you used to, that brings forth purpose through a person. Listen to this, Elder Lawyer. And usually impaired consciousness. Now, just imagine someone having an impaired consciousness. Right? Now, to be impaired is a disability. If your legs are impaired, you can't walk. Right? So imagine having people walking around without conscience, a broke conscience, which is reprobate. Folks, here's the reality that we didn't adjust ourselves for. The mentality of the people who now would be let back into the world after the pandemic. We didn't even think about it. What is the lasting effect of what happened there, and what world were we going into when they opened things back up? Check this out. A state of extreme apathy. Apathetic. People don't care no more. And now it's coming around, and I'm seeing it, Lawyer. And we're going to talk about this in the roundtable for people who do care, who still have a pulse. We're going to talk about this. Because at one time, it was just the men. Come on, get on our page. Let's do this. Let's do that. It was the men caring at first. Willing to fight in court and do all that and try to keep the family together. It was just the men at one point saying, well, okay, see things our way. Right? And now it then switched. Men have turned all the way off in the world. Right? Listen what I'm saying here. Men have turned all the way off, totally apathetic, don't care anymore. I mean, they have things online that's even getting to the younger men to say, listen, you don't need to care either, because there's no future in relationships anymore. There's no need to care. Care for yourself. And I'm hearing this. I'm hearing what they're putting online with, and these young men are eating it up. And guess what? They don't care. They don't care. So at one point it was the men, and now it's the women saying, well, okay, now this isn't fun anymore. Okay. Of course, we were just talking some stuff out loud amongst girls. That's how we talk, but we didn't really mean all that. And the men are saying, so what? We don't care. And then the devil is sitting with the elite now and are saying, okay, they are successfully divided. The whole world is divided. There have never been a better time to get rid of as many people at any time in the earth than the opportunity we have now. There's no defense. There's no people defending one another. People are separated, so there's nothing to care for. You separate people from God. You separate people from family. It takes away what? It takes away ambition and the spirit that leads to unconditional protection of those you love. So you begin to erode at that connection, and it leaves people empty without what? Without the propensity to fight for anything. What am I going to fight for? There is no, if people don't have a connection to God, there is no purpose, because there's no kingdom in their mind. There's nothing to strive for. You take away family. You take away children. You separate family. Then what is it for me to die for? The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited.